Hello, and welcome to Sorter Report. They say a picture paints 1,000 words, and when I saw this photo, I instantly knew 1,000 words was not enough. I needed to know more, so let's take a closer look.
I'm sure you've heard of animals being used in war. Just with the quickest of looks online, you can find plenty of examples of animals being used in war, from carrier pigeons to dogs in gas masks. The concept of animals in war is nothing new. Even way back when the Sumerians were around, there's evidence to suggest donkeys were the weapons of choice. The missions for these animals can be extreme, to say the least, including pigs being set alight to take down elephants. The Chinese Imperial Army even tried setting monkeys on fire and letting them loose just to cause complete chaos in the village. There are a whole range of animals lined up for kamikaze missions, and then there's the spy squirrels. I mean, it really is endless.
But the photo shows dolphins, and I still feel bad for dolphins due to this documentary I watched years ago called The Cove. The documentary shows horrific scenes of dolphins being trapped into a cove and culled by Chinese fishermen. I'm still slightly scarred from watching that, so along with the intriguing photo, it makes sense just to focus on dolphin warfare for now. For the lighter side, the only entertainment media we have on dolphins at war is a film made in 1973 called Day of the Dolphin, which takes ideas from J.C. Lilly's book Man and Dolphin. The film sparked rumours and conspiracies around the US Navy's use of animals, which helped lead to the declassification of the US Navy's marine mammal program in the 1990s. The US Navy's marine mammal program was set up in 1959. The website shows that they now specialise in bottlenose dolphins and Californian sea lions to detect, locate, mark or recover items in coastal areas or at depth in the open sea. As you can see here, and may already know, these animals have excellent low-light vision and directional hearing, which allows them to detect and track undersea targets, as well as being able to descend hundreds of feet deep without risk of the bends. And here's our explanation for the picture: transportation of dolphins in helicopters. A quick look into one of the declassified documents shows that the US were not the only country to test the waters with aquatic mammal recruits. This report from 1976 shows that Russia was keeping up Cold War tensions at sea as well as in the skies. The report touches on the animal's ability in the water far outweighing anything possible by a human. Initial efforts were not too successful, with the report detailing early problems with naval recruits not skilled in dolphin training. What a surprise. The report mentions the scientific advancements in sonar acoustics and hydrodynamics that can be gained on top of the potential Navy missions, before quickly turning back to the Cold War rhetoric by citing an incident where 47 dolphins were caught by Russian fishermen. By the time they got them to the Russian Navy, only 15 were reported alive. 2 of those 15 survived longer than 2 weeks. The next page focuses on Russia's changes, putting Anna Durova into a technical director role due to her work with animals, and her father, Vladimir Durova's work, training seals and sea lions to detect mines in World War II.
This tidbit here is interesting. It mentions Russia's steep history in animal circus acts and how that's not really helped much. This is because a circus trainer would usually have tricks based on behaviours the animal naturally performs, rather than training them on a completely new behaviour. After the initial problems, the dolphins started to respond to bridging stimulus training, much like giving your dog a treat for doing a trick, along with timeouts for bad behaviour. Let's not forget that dolphins get through around 2 pounds of fish a day in warm temperatures, and even more in the Russian cold waters. So you have to think, with all of these unsuccessful attempts and the ever-increasing costs, is it really worthwhile? So, onto the news articles. And when it comes to media stories, the first article I can find dates back to 1966, but it's behind a paywall and big media is not having any of my money. So on to more recent articles, which detail the use of dolphins in the Persian Gulf in the 1990s, with the CIA working alongside the Navy to try to target and attack ships. This article from May 2019 in The Guardian is sounding the alarm on a believed Russian spy in the form of a beluga whale. It touches on dolphins also being used in Vietnam, along with tours of Iraq to help clear mines. It makes you wonder what these highly trained operatives can't do. What makes this seem even more cruel is this article goes on to say, right here, that it is impossible to train dolphins to be combative. So as intelligent as they may seem, do they really understand the consequences of their actions, and how would they react if they were aware? No matter what a spy dolphin's conscious beliefs on war are, in this age, war is never far away. That is, if it ever truly goes away. Beautiful picture. Can we find a better version of that? Yes, we can. Back to business. First up, we're looking at The Guardian, March 2016, who explained that the Russian Defense Ministry were opening the bidding at 1.75 million rubles, or £17,000, for the delivery of 5 Dolphins to Sevastopol port by August 2016. The request was for 2 females and 3 males in perfect health between 5 and 3 years old, presumably for breeding purposes. There's not much more to this article, but if we jump to The Guardian, January 2023, it sheds some light on the UK intelligence, as they've noticed new mammal pens being set up closer to Ukraine, and a later article from October 2023 explains one of Russia's first moves to start the 2022 invasion of Ukraine was to station Dolphins in Sevastopol, in fact 56 miles northwest of Sevastopol. That's currently very concerning, as while I'm making the final touches to this report, there is news coming in of attacks in the Crimea, allegedly assisted by the US on a Sevastopol beach. Very coincidental that such an attack would be aimed at a beach location away from the front lines, in the same city or waters that the Russian sea mammals are based. From the counteroffensive in April this year, 2024, it's very, very interesting. If you're only going to look at one link, make it this one, by Alessandra Hay. It starts off by mentioning the 37 to 48,000 dolphins that have died since the start of the Ukraine war, which is a huge percentage of the Earth's total dolphin population. This is unprecedented for an animal that literally sleeps with one eye open. And although the article does not give specific reasons, it very much insinuates that it's down to the presence of the Russian base at Sevastopol. The article then mentions dolphins attacking enemy divers, which completely contradicts earlier reports, but when it's followed up with this tidbit on the Ukrainian Navy attaching underwater guns that allow the animal to shoot knives from their head, I realise this article's fun. Let's not get too hung up on details and facts here. This article truly fascinates me, as it goes further. The Ukrainian Defense Minister, Yevhen Marishuk, I might have got that one wrong, claimed the dolphins the Russians have seized from the Ukrainian Navy went on hunger strike. This sounded crazy to me, so I found another article reporting on the same incident, with quotes from Boris Babin taking it one step further by saying, "It is very sad that many Ukrainian military personnel stationed in Crimea treated the issue of the oath and allegiance much worse than the dolphins. Please take note that this was taken from Newsweek, so take that as you will." I would presume that this is propaganda. I understand dolphins are intelligent enough to refuse food from keepers, but the idea of a patriotic dolphin making a stand against the enemy by going on hunger strike seems fairly comical to me. While we're looking at almost certain propaganda, let's mention this article on North Korea, who are allegedly also in the dolphin arms race. Again, how much of this is real is highly debatable, but one thing is for certain. If the North Koreans have the capability of attaching devices to ships with dolphins, you can be certain that the US and Russia are at a similar or even more advanced stage. Looking forward, the US allocated $90 million in 2012 to fund drone and machine development to eventually phase out and replace the Dolphin squad. But as I'm sure you're aware, $90 million is a drop in the ocean when it comes to robotics and government defense contracts. This whole topic is very secretive, along with being majorly underreported, so how this plays out in the future is subjective at best. All we can be sure on is that currently, no machine can come close to matching the capabilities of our incredible flipper friends. I must state that everything in this video is based on publicly available reports and documents. These reports have not been vetted at all, corroborated or verified, and this is purely for entertainment purposes. With that said, it's over to you. Time to go fishing. Dive on into the links, and if you find deep water, drop a line below with some bait and let everyone eat. Until next time, peace and love.